Hello again, everybody. This is Jason, Keltic Sidecars. Every time we have a new model, we try and do a new install video for you. And today we're doing the Genuine Buddy 50. It's probably the easiest bracket to put on that we have in our line. So we wanted to give you a real quick update on what the tools will be today before we get started, and then you can follow along with us. First of all, open-ended wrench, 3/4 inch, open-ended 1/2 inch, open-ended 7/16. We like to use 2 ratchets. It makes life a little easier. If not, it's okay. You got the wrenches. We're going to have a 3/4 inch socket, a 9/16 deep well if you have it. It makes life easier, and a 9/16 inch socket. And again, we have 2 1/2 inch in case you do have the 2 ratchets. It makes things a little bit easier. And lastly, we have the 7/16. So just follow along with us and pause when you need to and install yours right along with us, and we'll see you on the next step. Alright guys, the first step here, we're going to need to remove the plastic to get plenty of room down underneath to mount the bracket. The first thing you can do is pull your rubber floor mats out. They just snap in, so just pull those out and set them aside. And then what you're going to want to do next is, I think there's 6 bolts here. There's one here, there's one underneath here, and I think there's 3 inside. You're going to remove those, and then we've already removed ours, so as soon as you do that, the plastic just locks in place. Just pull it out, set it aside, and do the same on the next other side, and we'll see you on the next step. Alright guys, here on to step 2. Like I mentioned before, these are probably the easiest brackets that we have to put on. You're about to see why. All you need is your 3/4 inch ratchet socket and the 2 3/4 inch bolts that came with the unit. And you'll notice the nut is already welded on to the tab. So all you have to do with these 2 grooves here, simply put them right against the frame there. That should lock right up. And all you're going to do, put your bolts through both sides, tighten those up good, and we'll be ready for the next step. Alright guys, once you have the bracket mounted, it's time to put the plastics back on. The other side's no problem. This side, you'll notice when you go to put it on, you'll need to notch it out a little bit for the bracket. So what you want to do, you can see we've already done ours, so set it up there where it goes and make yourself a mark there, and take a Dremel or a knife or something and scallop that out to fit. And if you set it out here, you can actually kind of see the shape. So notch that out, and then it's time to put that back on. Some people roll without it on there, but we like to have ours on, so you can certainly do either one. But put yourself a notch in the plastic there, and you're ready to install, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, next step here, gather your tools up. You need your 7/16 inch open-ended and ratchet, and then your 3/4 inch socket and open-ended wrench. When it comes to you in the mail, it should be very similar to this. Everything's already set up for you here, the fender mount, the fender and the jack leg, and then your aluminum frame separate. So first find your 7/16 inch bolt. It probably shipped already through the hole. So remember which hole that is. One of these is for the ruckus, and one of these is for the buddy. So you obviously use the buddy hole. And first thing you want to do is tip it up. You'll see the tab here with the hole already in it. You're simply going to slide that on. Line up your hole. And put your bolt through and bolt through the bottom. Tighten it up good and tight, and we'll be ready for the next step. Alright guys, after you have that set screw through and tightened up, you're going to need your 3/4 inch open-ended wrench and ratchet. These ship with the bolts through them, but they're not tight, so next step is use your open-ended wrench and tighten these up. Make sure they're both good and tight. And one thing before I forget to mention it, on the fender mount, there's a set screw right here on the hub. Always check and make sure that thing is good and tight. Use some Loctite, because if your fender comes loose, you're going to run over it and you'll be ordering a new one, so we don't want that to happen. But so check your set screw on the fender well and tighten all your bolts, and we'll be ready for the next step. Alright, the next step is going to be actually installing the aluminum plate to the pipe. You're going to need your 3/4 inch tools and the 3/4 inch nut and bolt that came with the package. All you're gonna do is simply slide this on, line up your holes here, and you're gonna put the bolt right through there and tighten it up. Don't over tighten right now until we go to the next step, and we'll snug it up then. All right, guys, now that your safety bolt's through there and just kind of snugged up, go ahead and take the scooter off the kickstand. And that should make everything nice and level. If not, you can make a little bit of adjustments, but it's going to be time now to tighten up your 9/16 bolts. This is where the deep well actually comes in handy if you have one. If not, you can use an open-ended wrench. So go ahead and tighten all 3 of these up. And you'll notice when you do that most of this gap goes away. Sometimes all the gap goes away. That's good. Make sure everything is nice and snug and we know it's not going to come off. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and finish tightening up the safety bolt through the bottom, the 3/4 inch. And we'll see you on the next video. Alright guys, you're almost done. 2 more quick steps and you're ready to roll. Find your 4 bolts and big washers that came with the tub, and your 1/2-inch tools here. And what you're going to do is, if you notice in the bottom, there are already 4 pre-drilled holes, and then in the aluminum frame there are 4 pre-drilled holes. So what I like to do is I look through one of the holes and line it up like so. And then all you're going to do is bolt it down, put the washer on the inside of the fiberglass, and then the nut goes on the bottom, and we'll be ready for the final step. We'll see you on the next video. Alright guys, last step here is throw in your carpet and your seat if you have one, or a dog bed. And you're all set to roll. Once you start using it, give yourself a couple hours somewhere local before you get on the main road. It will ride just a little bit different, and it takes some getting used to on your turns. So be safe, have a lot of fun, and we'll see you on the next video.